It is a magical day in the Formula One calendar. Race day at Monaco. Monte Carlo shimmering in the midday sun. The current track temperature is 41 degrees. Hello there, welcome to ITV's superb rooftop studio. There seems to be a Ferrari around every corner in this place. Thousands of Italians have popped across the border. Lots of Germans here as well, all hoping that the modern Mr. Monaco, Michael Schumacher, can win here for a fifth time. Tony Jardine, hi Tony. Schumacher has got that Ferrari on pole, but recent results, you know, they're against him, aren't they?
Well, they are, and certainly if you look back to pole position, the last time pole won was in Hungary about sort of 12 races ago last year. But also, it's not over at all. Even if you're starting from the front here, people have had quite big accidents. That includes Schumacher, that includes Senna in '88 when he was leading. Worst thing for Schumacher is way out front, he needs to keep his concentration very, very high.
Yeah, David Coulthard, he went pretty well in the qualifying session. He starts on the second row. He approached the session in great shape, wasn't he? Quickest in the morning practice.
Yes, yeah, and he's been consistently fast. He was very disappointed not to get on the front row, but we watched this footage from in-car. We'll see some a little bit later. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So smooth yet so fast. He says he was a bit hesitant on his first run, and that cost him dearly because later on he got affected by the yellow flags and the stoppages.
Nigel Mansell used to say about this place, if you're going to win here, you have to scrape the maker's name off the outside of the tyres, and Mr. Schumacher did just that.
Well, we've seen Michael Schumacher giving 110% as usual, but just look at this at Portia. That's where he crashed, by the way, in '96. Look at this, big power slide. He was on new tyres. He kissed the barriers. He said, that's all right, you can do that here, but that wasn't a sort of kiss. I reckon it was more like a love bite. But he carried on as he got the balance of the car, scrubbed in the tyres better, and he kept on setting fastest times to really re-emphasise that pole position was here. Was his here at Monte Carlo.
Absolutely, 1:19.4 in the last 10 minutes, and that's over a second quicker than Häkkinen's last year. That's pretty remarkable.
It is, but tyre technology being what it is, the aerodynamics, the engine, they've got a special, more powerful engine for qualifying. They went with lighter calipers, thinner discs. They've put all the thicker, more sturdy stuff on, ready for the race. And in case Schumacher's going to do any love bites again with the Armco, they've got the heftier suspension in place. McLaren will do the same.
A few minutes time, we're going to pop into Jarno Trulli's apartment. He's doing a spot of cooking there for his teammates, but I mean, Jordan cooked up a great dish here in qualifying, 2 in the top 4, Trulli on the front row and Frentzen 4th.
Well, it's the best qualifying position for Jarno Trulli and for Jordan here as well. Now, this guy is Mr. Fitness as well. He's running the New York Marathon later on this year. He's well into his racing. That's all he concerns himself with. He hates life outside the cockpit. He loves Monte Carlo, and Mugen Honda gave them a nice qualifying engine as well, and that car's very, very nimble. He wants to get off that line ahead of Michael Schumacher.
Well, Mika Häkkinen was held up by traffic. He finished a very frustrated 5th, but another former world champion, Jacques Villeneuve. I mean, you talk about Trulli running marathons. I mean, Villeneuve did a bit of the old foot slogging, didn't he?
Yeah, he had to, and he wasn't happy at all because the car had let him down, and look, he has to run all the way. He keeps a big, thick, fireproof suit. He likes to wear a big, baggy suit because he doesn't like any of the seams or any of the creases hitting him when he's in the cockpit. Incredibly fit. And I was actually speaking to Danny Minogue last night at the Monaco Ball, and she confirmed just how fit he is. She said he's all muscle, he's always working out in the gym, and that was Sir Richard Branson just congratulating him on his marathon run there back to the pits.
That's right, and when he got in the spare car, that spare car was roasting hot as well. But let's take a look at the grid, Tony, and Schumacher and Trulli, as we've been saying, on the front row.
Yeah, 25th career pole there for Michael Schumacher, but pole, as I said, not doing that well lately. Jarno Trulli, best ever. David Coulthard, disappointed. He hoped for the front row. Frentzen, very, very upset with Irvine. Blocked him in the tunnel, he reckoned. Häkkinen, after all those blockages, just managed to get into 5th place. Barrichello, nervous car, he said. But still a very exciting grid. Alesi getting advice from Professor Prost. And Fisichella, well, he's doing quite well with a lighter car. Ralph, not so good that car, the BMW Williams through the slower corners. Herbert had a crash. He crashed in warm-up. Wirtz had a crash. And this place bites, as they all know. Salo disappointed. Button's done a brilliant job. He hasn't been in the barriers yet at all. Verstappen, De La Rossa's been in the barriers twice. Villeneuve disappointed down in 17th. No grip or downforce from those two cars. Deniz, Zonta the same thing, lack of downforce with the BAR. And then we got Marzipan and Genet at the back in the Minardis.
He's going to claim you one of these days about calling it that, by the way. Listen, we saw a little piece of Monaco history here last year. The first ever Ferrari 1-2, thanks to Messrs Schumacher and Irvine.
Go, 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 go! And Hakkinen pulls across. Schumacher gets right up alongside him as they go. Schumacher leads. Schumacher, an absolutely sensational start. Oh, that is Damon Hill and Ralph Schumacher in the chicane.
David Coulthard there smoking the McLaren, the Mercedes-Benz engine smoking there on Coulthard's car.
Johnny Herbert out of the race.
He did well to hold that. Well done, Johnny. I mean, sheer fear, I'd imagine. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
that was a
wow.
nice move from Lacey.
Is this a retirement? If it is, it'll be his third retirement in 4 races. Off comes the steering wheel.
Mika Hakkinen went straight on into Mirabeau. There he is.
There it is.
That's he's reversing out of the escape road down into Mirabeau. No problem there.
Ferrari don't need to rush this one. It all looks very smooth to me. What can stop him, Murray?
Schumacher has stopped. Eddie Irvine has stopped. Coulthard is out of the race. Mika Hakkinen has got a red McLaren right up behind him. Ralph Schumacher loses it. Wham bang into the barrier. Whoa! Bang, bang, bang! And that is Barrichello. Look back for Eddie Irvine. There he is. There is the defeated Mika Hakkinen home in 3rd place. Victory for Schumacher and Ferrari in 1999. Superb!
And now Michael Schumacher comes here with 4 wins out of 6. Hakkinen's won in Spain, Coulthard at Silverstone, Barrichello was quickest in the morning warm-up. Ralph Schumacher has never finished here. Giancarlo Fisichella, he scored in his last 3 Monaco outings. And Ferrari lead McLaren by 10 points in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren have a great Monaco record, though. They've won 11 times. Jordan will expect to close up on Williams and Benetton. Now, if we peep over the wall from our very impressive ITV Erie, we look down on some excellent craft down there, and in the middle of it all, James Allen and his crew ready for a little spot of jetty walking. On you go, James.
Thanks, Jim. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, this really is the place to be at Monaco, and I can tell you that boats are very much back in fashion here. They've turned away an extra 140, and the whole place is completely jammed. Most of them, particularly over there, are the kind of corporate charters, the sponsors of the teams, entertaining their chairman and their chief executives. They've all got a pretty good view of the circuit. They've also got a big diamond vision screen which they can see the racing action as well. Now, boats are very much a must-have accessory for drivers and team owners. Michael Schumacher has a boat called Gina Maria after his daughter. Jean Alesi's boat is called Grand Prix, and this here is Eddie Irvine's boat, Anaconda S. Been a lot of life on there, as you can imagine. Some big parties this weekend. He spends a lot of time on that boat. And over on the other side is his old friend Eddie Jordan, has that boat there, and he tells me he's got another one on order, even bigger. They're all trying to get one they can land a helicopter on, apparently. Can you believe it? But the creme de la creme is over there. Flavio Briatore's boat, Lady Blue. He only uses it for 2 weeks of the year, and the rest of the time it's available for charter. Just 53 grand a week, I'm told. Bit steep for you and me, Jim, but I reckon Tony could probably help us out.
Well, I don't know about that, James. I mean, that should buy us 10 minutes and a pedalo around here, shouldn't it, I would imagine. Right, we're not going to take you around the harbour now. We're going to drive you around the circuit. It seems the slowest circuit of the year. It's the shortest one, just over a couple of miles, ever since they staged the first Grand Prix here back in 1929. This place is accepted as the ultimate driving test. Those barriers will bite you if you're not very careful. It's Martin Brundle to talk you around. David Coulthard is at the wheel.
Are you ready for a lap of the Monaco Grand Prix circuit? You're on board with David Coulthard in the McLaren. Down the pit straight, built up to 170 miles an hour before trying to find a braking point for Saint-Devote. Down to just 70. Clip the curb on the inside, a little confidence lifter, and then watch the barrier on the outside. Now you're climbing up towards Massenet, flicking through the small S's, over the top of the hill at 160 miles an hour. Now hug the inside. The barrier will come out to greet you, a little bit of understeer. You just passed, and the second part of Casino, back end going light, and now down to the Mirabeau. Just 40 miles an hour. Try and pick up the rain gully on the inside. A bit of understeer there for Coulthard, and he catapults into the Grand Hotel hairpin. Just 25 miles an hour, full lock, and again hard on the throttle over the pavement. You're heading towards Poitiers. Stay within the confines of the new tarmac. Don't hit the barrier on the inside. Get the power on early as you disappear into the tunnel. It's quite a right-hander in there, but on the exit you're doing 180 miles an hour before braking downhill into the new chicane. Abuse those curbs. It pulls the back end of the car around nicely and points you down towards Tabac, 140 miles an hour. Just brake lightly down to 95. The car will slide from the front towards the barriers. Now hold your breath. You're doing 110 miles an hour before you brake down into the second part of the swimming pool. 70 miles an hour, thread the car through. Then a left-hand kink towards La Rascasse. Difficult to slow. You're downshifting at the same time. Once again, full lock. The inside rear wheel will spin. The car slides around a little bit into the last corner, just 45 miles an hour. There's the straight again. A great lap, just an average of 90 miles an hour, but doesn't it look much faster?
Last British driver to win here, Jackie Stewart, way back in 1973. No doubt, though, about the surprise packet of the weekend. It has been Jarno Trulli and that Jordan team. Trulli starting alongside Michael Schumacher on the front row, the best qualifying performance of the 25-year-old Italian's career. Trulli, like so many of the drivers, now lives here in Monte Carlo. We joined him as he cooked up a little treat for his Jordan teammates.
Monaco is a very small and pretty city where there is a lot of traffic, I must say, but as you can see, I live far away from the center, so it's very quiet. And there is just the only Monaco beach is right in front of my house, so when it's nice weather, I can go out, go straight to the beach and just relax myself. This time I'm spending some time with my mechanics, which you know, are in some way one of my best friends, because I see them most of the time on the track. I spend a lot of time racing and testing, so I see them very often. Hi Danny, responsible in the front of my car, chief mechanic, Nick. I enjoy to cook some pasta or the food, especially for a friend of mine. And I just want to show them that I can do something good, apart driving, I hope so. I love cooking, and I do normally everything by myself. And don't like very much to go out and to the restaurant in Monaco, because actually the cuisine is French cuisine. Cuisine is not even Italian. It's half and half.
Do we have any beer?
Do you want a beer? Do you want a wine?
That'll do nicely, thank you.
So the first thing to prepare this plate is to have a chicken, then to split it in several pieces, and then prepare the potatoes. We have to dress this dish with olive oil and some wine, because gives to the chicken and to the potatoes a very good taste. Yeah? Yeah, red wine.
Yes, please.
That's for you.
So what do you make?
Some pasta.
Yeah.
With this tomato, basil, olive oil.
Everything.
And then some chicken, potatoes in the oven.
Multi-talented.
Jarno Trulli, pasta tasting experience.
Ready? First one is ready.
Yep.
Just a moment to bring you something.
Stuart, have ours first.
Yeah, you.
You have to eat it straight away when it's hot, otherwise just stick. I did try twice actually this dish before to offer you this kind of lunch. I've done this all for you because a friend of mine came last weekend to visit me. So I call up home and say, send me some different bottle of wine, good wine, because I have my mechanics coming. So I just want to impress Stuart.
Well, Nick actually said if the food's crap, we won't do the wheels up for the race. So.
I already told him he's like Jamie Oliver, Mark II, naked chef. Don't you think he could, when he retires, he could have a job as a TV chef?
Ready, steady.
That'd be good. Get the
Quick.
Tell us about the New York Marathon, Jarno.
Your marathon is 5th November. I think 1 week after. 1 week after.
1 week after Malaysia.
What, the weekend between?
I think the Sunday after. Normally Every train, with bike, running, everything.
When you go cycling, then where do you go? You ride to Italy or?
Go to Nice, go back, and then I climb up to the mountain. On the top. When you climb the mountain, it's from the beginning to the end, so just like this.
So yeah, the last race, I gave you a race briefing.
Yeah.
I told you to go to the first corner, do a left and head straight towards Tesco's. You know, what went wrong? Fisichella, somehow you managed to reverse into him. I don't quite know what happened, but explain.
I did try, but unfortunately I didn't succeed. I will try it next time, okay?
Excellent, that's what I like to hear. Anyway, it was a fantastic meal. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you very much.
I look forward to the next race briefing on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Well, they're not too sure about the paper plates or the plastic cutlery, but they must have enjoyed the meal, though, because a touch of pasta power subsequently put Jarno Trulli on the front row.
Mechanics are really nice, guys, and they are really big fun when we are working during the test. When there is a race weekend, they get always very professional, concentrate on the job. And I must say that they are just like a very good friend, because I can see them every weekend, racing, testing, so they're very close to me, and I just wanted to stay to spend the day with them, a night with them, and we enjoyed ourselves, and hopefully it gave me quite a big luck for this weekend, so probably I will do it again next year.
Noise you can hear behind me, one or two of the cars clearing their throats, as it were, for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix that is still just under half an hour away. What about Jarno Trulli that we saw there? It's fair to say that Jordan needs something here this weekend, Tony.
Yeah, they do. The best they've had so far has been a fourth place back in '92 with De Chadris, fourth last year. The qualifying performance is very, very good indeed. Moog and Honda have done well. As I say, Nick Burrows is chief mechanic there. You've got a fast driver who delivers fast food as well. There's a great bonding, though, between the mechanics. Dino Toso is engineer, because they had difficulty with the setup of that car previously. They've got the car just right for Jarno, and hopefully in race trim as it was this morning, it'd be right. He's on a good side of the track where it's very grippy off the line against Schumacher. Schumacher better watch out. It's going to be a very entertaining start.
Thank you very much indeed, Tony. It's fair to say that all the noise around here on the Grand Prix weekend at Monte Carlo isn't everybody's cup of tea. A lot of the locals, they head for the hills and rent out their apartments for huge mountains of francs. But don't worry about it, the posers, they're still here. A tight fit in that McLaren, madam, I'm afraid. Coming up, Murray meets a British Monte Carlo winner. And who will Martin snare on his grid walk? Monaco 2000 is the 58th Grand Prix around the narrow streets of Monte Carlo. It's hot, it's cramped, it's noisy, it's dangerous and very exciting. The adrenaline pumps, you need a very high level of concentration. That has always been the case. The very best blossom and rise to the challenge, like the remarkable man who has won here 3 times and is the subject of today's Murray Meets.
you think Grand Prix racing these days is better, worse, or just different?
Different. I think it is far more sophisticated. I think what they achieve with these cars is remarkable. I think the sporting side of it has gone, which I think is a great loss. I don't think it hasn't spoilt the racing, but it's spoilt being part of it. I mean, when I was racing, it was really fantastic fun to be in there taking part. But I don't think today it's quite like that. I think you make up with bank balance.
Do you think it's too professional?
No, I think the trouble. I don't think it's too professional, but I think because it's so professional, I think it is spoiling it. Yes, I do. But that's because the technology is so good. It isn't because racing's bad. It's because they've made the cars so good, in the same way as they have aircraft and so on, that it just doesn't give them the opportunity of demonstrating, as a man like Fangio could, his skill.
Now, what about safety? Because sadly, in your days, it was by no means unusual for 2, 3, 4 drivers a year to be killed, and thank heavens, touch wood, that just doesn't happen now. Safety has improved beyond recognition. But there are some people who think it's too safe.
Well, I'm one of those, I'm afraid. I think that an important ingredient, as a driver, an important ingredient is the danger, because if you're going round a corner at 120 miles an hour and you manage to leave another man behind a yard or two, the feeling of exhilaration is enormous. If there was no danger at all, if you've got a safety net to catch you, I think that would be lessened. I think it's rather like salt and cooking. You need a bit of danger. I think the other problem, and it's much bigger than that, I think that because of the safety of the cars, now we're getting a contempt of danger, and therefore the driving, not the standard of driving, but the quality of ethics, if you like, is lessened. I mean, when you look at it, you can see that some of the best drivers in the world will push another driver off the road to 150. But that is because he doesn't think of danger. You wouldn't do that in my day. You wouldn't dare.
True. No.
But and one thing though, Mario, I do think that if the guys of today were racing when we were racing, I'm sure they would be just as ethical as they were, because times have changed.
Yeah. Now, I was going to say, you used to race against legendary names like Ascari and the great Fangio, who was a teammate of yours. How do you rate them now with the Coulthards, the Häkkinens, the Schumachers, the Nigel Mansells of this world?
In my mind, quite honestly, in each era you get a man who's outstanding. I mean, to me, Fangio was the greatest. I think probably the greatest that's ever lived as a complete driver. I think Senna probably approached him in skill. I really do. Ethically, no, but then it wasn't required in his time. You can't say the man wasn't as nice as Fangio was, because it's a different life. And I think today, you've got Michael Schumacher, who I personally believe is in a class of his own. And I don't think I think we've got to wait till another one comes along.
Sterling, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And to endorse what, as Sterling said there, Schumacher in a class of his own around Monaco. He's won 4 of the last 6 here. Senna holding the all-time record of 6 wins. Look at Häkkinen and Coulthard, just 4 finishes in 13. 12 the 22 drivers, including Jarno Trulli, who we visited, have homes here. Just a couple of wins from pole in the last 8 races. Schumacher on pole today, of course. The last winner from pole, though, Häkkinen in Hungary, and that was 12 races ago. OK, Tony, let's have a quick look at what happened in warm-up this morning. Rubens Barrichello went quickest, but the Jaguar of Herbert had problems.
Yeah, I mean, they've been running quite well. They're over their engine problems. But on the exit of the swimming pool here, a broadside on for Johnny Herbert. He's 11th on the grid. That's not what he needed. Of course, the damage is minimised by going in sideways as opposed to frontwards, and then Jensen Button going off. Now, he has done an exceptional job. That's only a little whoopsie, and he gets going in. He's kept it away from the barriers, unlike many drivers here. Here we have Pedro de la Rosa, the second time he's had a heavy off. And the first one was in qualifying at La Rascasse. Just shows you how the grip levels change, how easy it is to get offline, pick up dirt, and off you go into the barriers.
Absolutely. OK, let's hear from some of the drivers now, shall we? Starting with Michael Schumacher, whose Ferrari is on pole.
I think it's important to be in the first row, honestly. Whether you're first, you're second, that doesn't really matter, as we have seen last year. So that is my view of it.
I must say I'm really happy and satisfied, because it's very hard, this track, for the driver, for the car, and it's good for the mechanics and the team, because we had a very tough season, beginning of the season, but now it seems getting better.
I wanted to be in the front row at least, but it's still possible to win from there. You know, a lot can happen in this track, and we'll be okay.
We obviously have a good car here. We find a good setup. Jarno and me, we like the track.
The car is changed a little bit, obviously, but you know, it's a little bit like on the rain. I know I have some possibility on this circuit, and I try very hard.
Big 14th isn't really that good, but I think I've got the pace and the car has. Obviously not to be up with the Ferraris, Jordans and McLarens, but it's got a bit more pace than I've shown today, really.
Just for the last run, you know, I was able to get the proper lap time, and even that was a struggle because there was oil in the last corner.
Looking for the championship, it makes you a little bit optimistic.
This fella finished second behind Michael Schumacher. What was it, 1994, wasn't it, Martin? Nice to see you behind the mic down there, ready to go, but I reckon this is the circuit you want to drive, don't you, above any other?
I did, I loved it here, but there's a lot of people here also love to watch this sport. I thought normally we get a lot of movie stars here from the Cannes Film Festival, but that's long over, and well, I'm really shocked. I thought they came just because they love Formula One, but obviously not. But still, look, show them Andy, show them the people here have got a fantastic view of the start line. They can see exactly who gets away well or who jumps the start or whatever. But I have to say, doing a grid walk on this grid just terrifies me because every time I turn around, you can see absolutely nothing. I was hoping to talk to Ryan Giggs, but he's with the Jordan team. Eddie didn't want me to because a couple of years ago I said something along the lines of, well, Ryan Giggs is the only thing in the Jordan team that can take a corner, which didn't go down very well. But I'd be pretty silly if I said that today because they're going absolutely brilliantly up here in second place on the grid. Trulli's just walked off the grid, presumably to go to the toilet. You got the Ferrari sitting here on pole of Michael Schumacher. Look, that Ferrari looks the absolute canine undercarriage, and you can't see too much of it at the moment, but Schumacher looking fantastic in that car. Let's wander down the grid, see what we can see, and here's Trulli. Trulli's back. Jarno, chance for a quick talk, ITV. So, fantastic weekend for you so far. What do you think your chances are? You're starting from the front row of the grid. Is that for the first time?
Yeah, it's a very good feeling. I think I got a very big chance to be first at the first corner because we usually have a very good start, and we will see. The race is going to be very tough for everybody and very long.
You think it'll be tougher mentally or physically?
On both sides, because the track is very narrow, very tight corner, can be, you know, slippery. So we really need to have a very high concentration.
So for once, you don't have to look at all of the other cars to know when to go. You can just watch the lights and concentrate on your own start. Have a great race. Okay, so there's Jarno looking, I have to say, a touch nervous. Now, another man I wanted to talk to was Bernie the Bolt, but I haven't seen him at the moment. I'll have a quick word. Here's Ron Dennis. Ron, have you got time for a talk? You got Mika back in 5th, David in 3rd, not where you wanted to be on the grid. Can you do anything about it?
Well, the first thing is to survive the first lap and then play to the right strategy. I think it's difficult to win from back there, but not impossible. It really depends on the outcome of other people's races. In a straight fight, I think we can come 2nd and 3rd with a bit of help from other people's bad luck. Maybe we can still win.
Yeah, I know you'll die if you're 2nd and 3rd. I know that's not normally in your vocabulary, but have a good race anyway. Thanks for talking to us. I think I saw, amazingly, a little man wandering about over here. Here he is. I think I dare interrupt him. Bernard. Well, you flogged off half of Formula One, but you're still sort of cruising around here like you own the place still.
My wife sold, or the trust sold half, not me. I've got nothing. I'm just a poor guy trying to work.
Well, but I need to know, because my friends here, they want to know that we're talking to the absolute tip-top people, you know, so you're the man still, yeah?
I'm making out I am, even if I'm not.
Oh, yeah, well, we all do that. So you...
Exactly, that's what I was just going to say, like you.
So you flogged off half of it. Which half's yours then? The left-hand side, the right, or do you just the front?
I think it's I'm always on the right.
You're always on the right and in the right, I've no doubt about that. So I tell you what, I saw a car park over there that was so waterlogged that people are coming in by boat. Do you think they get called in by the FIA for waterlogged car parks?
Absolutely. I mean, it's terrible. It's all water out there.
Yeah, it's shocking. I heard next year's British Grand Prix is going to be between Christmas and New Year, so the ground is nice and frozen, yeah?
You have more lakes, you want more water, because you've got used to, you know how to deal with it now. Everybody knows how to deal with water.
Listen, we've got to throw back to the studio. Thanks, Bernie. See you.
Two poor guys trying to earn a living down there. That's a great car park angle. I can't get over that one. Jenson Button ready to go in his first Monaco Grand Prix. The temperature and the tension rising in that cramped pit lane as well. This from Louise Goodman.
The pits are a hazardous place at any Grand Prix, but nowhere more so than here at Monaco. Look at the size of this pit lane. It's just 10 feet wide. That's half the size of the average pit lane. Now, the drivers are restricted to 60 kilometres an hour when they come in to refuel. It's normally 80 kilometres an hour, but even so, the whole process is fraught with dangers. Now, James Robertson is the operations manager here at Williams. James, this must be a really tricky race for the mechanics.
It's obviously very difficult. I mean, it's very dangerous. We've got guys working here only a sort of metre away from the cars that are speeding down the pit lane, and in the background 400 litres of fuel sat in the fuel rig, so all very close, very dangerous.
They've just got to pay a lot more attention, have they?
Got to be very, very aware, and as you see even on the other side of the pit lane here, we've got one car. Normally we've got all the cars together, so we're crossing over from one side of the pit lane to the other, so we've got to be very aware.
That really is a very dangerous area indeed. It's time to pull over and have a look at the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. Less than 10 minutes away now. Temperatures continuing to rise in this packed harbour at Monte Carlo. Really is a fantastic sight. Stand by for a must-see moment, really, in the world of Formula One. The start at Monaco and that unbelievable charge to Saint-Devote. Michael Schumacher got a real flyer last year, and Schumacher and Ferrari never looked back. The street fighters are ready to roll.